students, we are back with a new chapter of history, that is human evolution and beginning of civilization. By the way, this is the first chapter from your history perspective. I already dealt with some of the chapters from geography, like shaping of Earth's surface and atmosphere and climate. Hope you guys have saw that one shots particularly. So today's topic is human evolution and the beginning of civilization from history. You guys are aware, new NCERTs are going to be released for class 9. Still we are teaching by bringing resources from different sources so that you are not left behind and at least your basics are clear. That is what the agenda of today's video. Also, because many of the students were demanding in the comment session as well as in the live, ma'am, please bring human evolution. So coming back with human evolution, beta, human evolution, first, whenever I teach any chapter, what do I say? You to decode the heading of the chapter, and the heading here says human evolution and beginning of civilization. As by our what we can say mischievous thing, always we are being targeted and said that you act like a monkey. Yes, we do. Why? Because ancestors were our monkey. Yes, so now that process of evolution, right, was not a process of a single day, single year or a decade, no, or a century, not at all. It was million years which took, right, to evolve as humans, as straight standing humans as we are. The mind that is developed is the result of millions of years, and that human evolution we are going to study in this chapter. Now here we have one more thing, that is beginning of civilization. Beta, civilization word comes from civilized, civilized comes from civilians. So basically how humans gathered, made a society, made their behavior, their lifestyle, their food, their culture, and what urbanized themselves so that they can have a proper settled life. That is known as civilization. So I just want to welcome you all. I'm little late, but welcome you all on the platform Deeksha Vedantu, and this is your SST faculty. Be ready to read this chapter in the easiest way possible. So let's figure out first what we are going to study in this chapter. Here are the topics that are like decoded in the entire chapter, where we will study about cultural development, early human history, periodization, an important topic, who were human ancestors, Palaeolithic, Mesolithic and Neolithic age. Then we will talk about the revolution that came after Neolithic age, domestication of plants and animal, Harappan civilization, not even the Harappan civilization only. We'll talk about the contemporary civilizations in the world. And at last we will study the social, political and religious habits of the people in the past. Okay. Now, one thing that you have to figure out here is a word, that is history. See beta, what we have to study is history. You are a class 9 student, and I know that many of the students believe that history is boring. History is a subject that contains only dates, only events. We need to do just ratification. It's so boring beta. No, it's not the truth. There is a stereotype in your mind which you have to remove right now if you want to study with me. Okay, so history is a subject which can be like made as interesting as possible, and we are going to do that together. Right? So according to E.H. Carr was a great famous historian. E.H. Carr, what is history beta? History is the study of, pay attention, history is the study of events of the past. Events of the past. Events of past. So if I ask you a question that, do you remember that 2 years back early in the morning you wake up and drank a glass of milk? Will you remember that? No. But do you remember how you celebrated your birthday last year or last to last year? You will remember that somehow. Why? Because that drinking of milk was not an important event to be remembered throughout your life, but your birthday was. Similarly, if I say that all the events in the past is history, I am wrong. All the important events in the past is history, that is true. Getting my point? Okay, and here Here, studying history, right? Like one question that comes in our mind, from when do we call that this is history? From which time we are studying? So from the time, right? From the time we got the evidence of the presence of humans. So we got the evidence of the presence of human is referred as history. To understand that nicely, beta, history is divided into three terminologies, or the study of the past events is divided into three terminologies. One is prehistory. Okay, that is prehistory. The second one is history, and one more here in between, that is proto-history. Proto-history is, however, not given in your book. I'll tell you but what this category stands for. Getting my point? So now let's have a look what we have to study. Talking about civilization, by civilization is the human life. When humans started living settled, they have their houses, they have food to eat and everything like that. They have a trade system which was based upon barter system, that means exchange of items. You want this, I want that, let's exchange it. That is barter system. And here comes the word civilization. It was not developed in a single day. It developed over a period of time. From where it started when humans came on earth and they tried to slowly connect with the nature. Like, I will tell you one beautiful example that I learned with the scientific theory of survival of the fittest. Let's look at the structure of giraffe. You know what happened? Giraffe particularly lived in an area, a region where the trees were found which were in height. So to feed itself, they have to keep their neck up, and eventually, gradually, what happened? The figure they got. So who survived? Basically, the survival is only possible when you fit in the nature. Similarly, humans evolved and we are surviving ourselves, being adapting to the nature. And this is what will lead you to what? Civilization. So major changes that included in the nature of humans earliest time was to make tools, because what happened? It was forest all over. There were animals, wild animals too, that can attack humans. So there were tools, sharp tools to kill them, or they wanted to feed themselves, tools were used. So the first thing that human learned was to make this tool just to protect themselves from the wild animals and to get their food done. Like one thing that actually human can work for is to get good food. Right? So this is how the starting was done. Then the next important discovery, I feel that this is where our life started destroying, and that was the discovery of fire. However, this was the first great discovery in the world, fire. Right? Then we can see farming came. Wheel was made to transport. So that is the process that happened gradually. That's particularly lead for what? Beta, when agriculture will done, people have to stay there. Right? Crops are not grown and harvested in a single day. They need time. So what happens? People need to settle there. For settlement, they will make camps and then gradually houses. Houses become society. When you are living in society, someone will do some work, another will do another work. They will exchange of items. And here it comes trade. When the society will grow, there needs to be someone who need to take care of that society, and here comes the governance, that means ruler. And this is how what happens after civilization, kingdoms came into being. Okay, so I think that this starting is pretty enough to make you understand what civilization is. Coming back to the topic where we started about definition of history, and I told you, beta, history is not only the word history. We have prehistory, proto-history, etc. Now what happens, na beta? Now one question I would ask you right now, whenever we study history, the first thing we study is source of that. Right? If I am going to tell you about a Mauryan king, the first question you will ask to me, ma'am, how do you know about this? Then I'll tell you, I read the books. But from where those writers got the content? By the research. By the research of what? By the research of fossils they found. Okay, tools they found, or something that is written they found. So do you think that the day human evolved, Okay, the day humans started walking upright, he wrote something or he spoke something? No. Then can we call it history? We didn't got any written records of it? No. And hence we call it prehistory. Now pay attention to that. What is prehistory? The time where we did not got anything written. That means before the invention of history, the Stone Age. What is Stone Age? Right? You studied in class 6. By Stone Age was the time when humans were using tools. At that time, humans don't know how to write, how to speak. That time is known as bacha prehistory. What it is known as? Prehistory. Got it? So what is prehistory? The time before invention of writing. Second. Now second word here is proto-history. Bhai, what is this now new word proto-history? So beta, there is a time that is Harappan civilization after the Stone Age. Okay. This Harappan civilization is the time where we got something written, a signboard we have found. But humans are unable to decipher what is written. Irony. I personally feel as a teacher that whenever we will get something, like whenever any of the great person deciphered that, the complete books are going to change. And I'm waiting for that until before I die. So proto-history is the time, beta, when we got the written records, but we are not able to decipher what is written. Okay, before the invention of history, it's prehistory, then proto-history, then history, the period where you got the written records such as inscriptions and documents. If you remember, Ashoka was a ruler who had the habit of writing inscriptions throughout India. What is inscription, by the way? Anyone who knows that? I'm hoping that you know that, but I'll tell you, inscriptions means when anything is written on a hard surface. By written means I don't mean written from pen, not possible. So it is engraved on a hard surface. It can be stone, it can be pillar. Like whenever we go to the Indian temples, what do we see on the pillar? Something is written. That is an inscription. You go to a fort and you will find a board outside in which something is written on a block of stone. What's that? That's inscription. Okay, so we got these written records in various forms, and one of them is inscription. So now comes the another one. What is archaeology, bhai? Ma'am, what is this? Prehistory, proto-history, history, now archaeology. But archaeology studies, it is the study of all those tools we found. All the fossils, remains basically of plants and animals, bones we found, cave paintings and ruins. If you know about cave painting in India, one thing that comes in our mind is the cave of Bhimbetka in Madhya Pradesh. Okay, UNESCO site it is, you should know it, beta. Then archaeological evidences help us reconstruct early human life. So what is the source of a subject we are studying right now, bhai? All these evidences are the source of that subject, and the study of it is known as archaeology. Get it clear? Finding boring? Okay, I know, but let us move to the another topic, and that is, once we are done with all the basic terminologies. Now beta, if I tell you, okay, if I tell you that you have 10 hours today, study complete 10 hours, okay, you choose a subject that is history for the complete day. Will that be possible for you to learn it? No. So you are going to divide your day into 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours with different subjects so that you can retain that subject, isn't it? What you are doing it? You are doing a periodization. You are dividing your hours of study into periods, and that is known as periodization. Understood with this example? Now, if I ask you to study history from the time human evolves, will you feel that it is easy? No. So what historians has done, beta, to study history in the more convenient way possible, they divided into periods, which is known as periodization. This process is known as what, beta? Periodization. And why they have divided them into period? Because after a period of time, there has been what? Transitional shift to another. Like there was a time when humans were hunters and gatherers. Then come a times when they become settled. Then comes a time then they become civilized. So don't you find any change in them? Yes, we do. This is known as what, beta? Periodization. Okay, in this periodization, the first thing that we are going to study is Stone Age. What is Stone Age? When humans knew only about what? Use of stones. They used to make tools out of stones or bones. And that period is referred as Stone Age. In that, we will study 3 periods. How many periods, bhai? 3 periods. The first one is Paleolithic Stone Age. Okay, then we have Mesolithic, and then we have Neolithic. Beta, if you don't know this word lithic or lithic, lith basically, this means stone. This means stones. Okay, lithic word means stone. So here paleo word means old, and hence it become old Stone Age. Paleolithic, paleo plus lithic, old plus stone. Similarly, meso here means middle, so it becomes middle Stone Age, bhai. Then Neolithic, that means new Stone Age. Now what is new in that Stone Age? What is middle in that Stone Age? We have to understand nicely. So all this is on the basis of tools and lifestyle. If I talk about phone, right, let's say 1990s period, there was a phone that was like does not look like smartphone. It was a smaller one with small screen with keypads and all that, isn't? Yes. Then comes a time when smartphone was there, little smaller ones with not that big screen, not clear visuals, nothing, no internet working on that. Then comes the time we are evolving with the smartphones. We are having good cameras. We are building up with new features. So what is going on? Evolution is going on, right? Changes are being going on. Similarly, in the Stone Ages, beta, we are categorizing them into old, middle and new on the basis of the tools they use, on the basis of the sizes of their tools as well as the lifestyle. Okay, let's study each of them nicely. Here I have given a reference, but let's talk about them individually. Okay, get it? Chalo. So now this is being clear to you. But the question is, ma'am, in Paleolithic age, there were humans using tools, in Mesolithic also, in Neolithic also. But tell us the evolution of humans first, bhai. You said that we will study about the evolution. This is the picture that you obviously see every time. Okay. So beta, we are like our ancestors are ape, right? We are the child of monkey. We are aware about this. But what happens? We gradually grow with the nature, right? Adapting to the nature. So the first human, pay attention to it, the first human who changed gradually and walked upright without using 2 limbs here, right? That was Australopithecus. That was Australopithecus. This was the first human who walked upright with 2 legs only. Okay? And this was a human who used simple tools. Getting my point? Then comes the next phase, that is Homo habilis. It is said that in the Homo habilis, mind gradually developed. By he becomes smarter. They become smarter. Why? Because they made simple stone tools. Now Homo erectus discovered what? Fire. And next is about Homo sapiens, develop complex tools, language and social behavior. What do we call when we ask that what is the scientific name of humans? We always say it is Homo sapiens. So Homo sapiens are the one who developed this language, culture, society and behavior. Before that we have Australopithecus. What they did? So they were the first one who stand upright. Homo habilis, first one to make simple tools, mind grow at that time. Then Homo erectus discovered fire. Then we have Homo sapiens. However, when you study science particularly, I feel there are more details in that in bio if you have that topic. So there are more details in that. You can study it from there. For SST, this much is enough. Okay, so these were our human ancestors. So we saw our human ancestors, or we study from the time of Paleolithic age. By they were hunters and gatherers, and this was the best life one could have. By get up early in the morning, kill an animal, right? Bring some fruits, eat, sleep, walk, move around the forest, and then go to bed. And now then eventually humans develop a computer, and now working to fix that computer all the time. Fine, it happens. So now comes to the point, that's Paleolithic age. This was the age of hunters and gatherers. Pay attention, older times, hunters and gatherers. What people were doing? By hunting animal, gathering fruit, root, nuts, seeds, etc. Living in caves. Why? Because there were extreme weather conditions like rainy season, winter season, or summer, right? Scorching heat. So they have to protect themselves from that time. Where they will go to protect themselves? Caves. Because up till this time, no house or anything is built by them. So they live in beta caves or rock shelters and move from one place to another. Getting it? Tools were rough, they were not that finished. The major tools are like axe, choppers, scrappers, cutting tools, etc. Cutting tools to chop the fruits as well as the animals. Okay, so here is the picture attached for the stone tools we have found in Paleolithic age. Now comes to the next one, Mesolithic. By why it is kept in middle? Because middle is the transition phase from old to new. Old to new. In the later, okay, before moving to that, in the later Paleolithic age, when it was going to end, humans discovered one of the best discovery of the time, and that was fire. What by? So there is a story that two people were sitting, they were talking, and one of them rubbed that stone and somewhere fire came, right? And later on they figure out that bhai, this can be used to cook food. This help us to keep warm during the time it's cold. It can help us to protect ourselves from the wild animals, because whenever we burn the fire, wild animal comes and they get scared and they go away. So this was the use of what, bacha? Fire. It was used to get the survival in the cold weather and dangerous environment. Cave painting shows animals hunting scenes and symbol. If you go to Bhimbetka, I personally visualized it. It is a beautiful scene. If you go to any of the caves now, you will see bhai, with the colors they used at that time, that still is present. What's being made? Hunting scenes are being made over there. They are showing that the women are chopping the skins of the animals, and the men are going and hunting, and this was shown over there in the cave painting. See how artistic they were millions years back. So that's why we are so artistic. So these paintings suggest artistic skills and early beliefs too. So when we talk about how do we know about history, beta, all the evidences tells us a lot about history. It's about the view you are studying. Okay, now discovery of fire is done. Yes. Middle Stone Age, bhaiya, what changed in the Middle Stone Age? How they grow gradually. So they become smarter. Okay, that Homo erectus one, they become smarter. They make tools, but now smaller in size. They understood that by large tools are not required. Fine and sharp tools are required. So it is a transition phase. Up till now, in the Paleolithic period, what humans were, bacha? Hunters and gatherers. By kill, eat, sleep, right? Hunters and gatherers. But now this is a phase. They are gradually moving towards settling. I won't say that they settled. Pay attention. I didn't say that they settled. This is a transition phase towards it. People use small sharp stones which are known as microlithic liths. Micro means small, lith means stone. Okay, so what are the stones or tools found in the Mesolithic age known as microlith? For sure, a MCQ question, thank me later. Okay, now here one more activity is added in the list, that is fishing. It became common, beta. Animals were hunting, same they were doing, but with improved tools, that were microliths. And here somewhere See, I'm not saying completely, but somewhere domestication started. You know what is domestication? Like domestication of animals. Now, when domestication we are talking about, that means animals were living with them. That means they have any settlement. Why did they have? So, I won't say that they have a permanent settlement, but for seasons they have. Yes, for some 2 months, 3 months, and there they kept the animals also. And you know which is the first animal that was tamed? Class 6th question. The first animal that was tamed was a dog. Yes. So this was the first animal who was tamed. So bacha, we can call this phase as a transition phase. By transition phase, the transition phase like those of 90s kid, right? You people are Gen Zs and the older ones, we are sandwiched between them. That is the transitional people. Now coming towards next, that is some of the Mesolithic sites and tools. So majorly beta, see, human beings basically need food and water to live, as well as tools to kill animals. Okay, so now Mesolithic people lived near rivers. Why bhai? Near rivers there will be forest, near river there will be water, lakes and coastal areas. Tools included arrowheads, blades, scrapers and sickles. Microliths were often fixed onto woods or bones. Now, as you have seen that these types of like sickle is made, for example, so it will be attached with a wooden stick, okay, to hold it. This was evolved in the Mesolithic period. So we can say yes, better tools were used for hunting and fishing. Okay, now comes to Neolithic age. Bhai, how it is new? Because this is the phase where human learned farming. Human grow crops during this time. So Neolithic age marked an extreme good art, that was art of agriculture. Acha, which was the first crop grown, do you know? So the first crop that was grown was wheat and barley. Wheat and barley. This was. Here I am talking about Indian civilization. Acha, okay. Indian subcontinent, the crop that was grown at the earliest what? Continent, wheat and barley. This was it. And now one question, bhai. There are two questions. They grow crops. Where they will keep it? Do they have any burners? Do they have any utensils? Now comes to the point, ma'am, that means they started making pots. Yes, they learned the art of making pottery. Getting my point? Next thing, they make the food, na? That means they have to live near that agricultural land. Yes, and this is how they got settled life. So beta, people grow new crops like wheat, barley, rice and millets, and here they domesticated animals such as sheep, goat, cattle and dogs. Now tools become advanced. Pottery was added. By they will make wheat. Where they will keep it? In the pots made up of what? Mud. Right? Like mitti ke bartan we used to play in childhood. It was their activity. It was their first activity. So polished tools were found during this time. So this is a key shift from a time where humans were hunters and gatherers to a time when they become settled community. Getting my point? From Paleolithic to Neolithic age, which we call as Stone Age. Still it is lithic. Why? Because humans are still dependent upon hunting and gathering with the use of stone tools. Now a revolution. What do you mean by revolution? By change came in the society. How? Farming is introduced to humans. Yes. They become what? Settled after that time. Now they grow a lot of crops. That means surplus food production. When food production will be there, human will become healthy. When human will become healthy, they will reproduce. And here it leads to what? Population growth. When population will grow, what will happen? There will be division of labor. Right? Some people are doing something, some of the thing, and all those work are divided. And eventually, beta, because of this population settled in a nearby area, this will lead to the formation of a village, town or society. And the story begins here. So this is the complete story of human evolution from hunting gathering to a civilization. Get it, beta? So this is here. And here becomes the time of social organization. People started building their houses nearby and becomes a society. When they made the society, rules started. Rules being implemented. Acha, in a society, if you have to live, you have to get up early and pray. Fine. If in a society you are living, if you kill someone, then in the next age you will get this saza. So what is that? These are the rules made so that humans can live peacefully with each other, which we in present time see as what? Stereotypes, or you know the exact work. Okay, so this revolution was crucial step towards civilization. Now comes the civilization in the Indian subcontinent, okay, that is known as Harappan civilization. First we will study about what, beta? Harappan civilization. Achha, do you know this Harappan civilization is also known as Indus Valley civilization. Indus Valley civilization. I have a reason for calling them Harappan or Indus Valley. Bhai, why do we call it? We call it Indus Valley civilization because this is the civilization near which river? Indus river. Okay? The same Indus river which flow in the north of India and Pakistan today. But why do we call it Harappan civilization? Because in 1924 by R.D. Sharma, am I right? Yes, by R.D. Sharma, this was the Dayaram Sahani, sorry. Arey bhai, that maths writer came into my mind somehow, I don't know. So, in 1924, by Dayaram Sahani, this was the first site of the civilization found, Harappa, that is in Pakistan right now. Okay? And here comes a great civilization. Why are we calling it civilization? Because this is how it looked like. See, properly well-structured houses, lanes, bathing areas, trade was going on, there was market, and everyone settled as urban people because this was city life, well planned. And here we call it civilization. So Harappan civilization was an early urban civilization of the Indian subcontinent where cities were well planned with straight roads and drainage system. Acha bhai, do you know that if you see at the Indian cities right now, even they were not planned as the way they are. Have you watched that movie of Hrithik Roshan? There was one movie they showed the unicorn animal also, which is believed to be found in our Harappan civilization. I don't know how much it is true, but yeah. So there was a movie of Hrithik Roshan. It's so exaggerated a lot, but I would say that I would suggest you to watch it. Right, watch it. It's regarding Indus Valley civilization, so you will get a proper idea how it looked like. Or if you are someone playing that game, I know that game, I don't remember the name of that game that usually students play. It's related to history, so if you play that, then you will feel connected. So what happened na beta, in a Harappan city, the lanes were always in right angle. That means when one lane needs to attach with the another one, there will be a right angle on it. Not like the present one, this, zigzag, zoom. No. Okay. So yes, cities were well planned with straight roads and a great drainage system. Drainage system was like that from the house, right? From the house, a pipe was being like bought. In the front of the house, there was a drain, small drain, which was flowing like this, and this was covered drain. Covered drain. Believing that million years back, covered drain. So, not millions by the way. So here it was covered, which goes beyond and joins to the main drain outside the city. That was great. So people made pottery, beads, seals, and metal tools. Trade was important and settlement was connected with other regions. Like there are evidences found when Indus people were trading with Mesopotamian peoples. There are evidences found. They were trading in the beads that was used for jewelries, lapis lazuli, a beautiful, what I can say, like a feather of peacock. The color was like that. So lapis lazuli was a bright color, beads that was used to be sold in the markets. Even there were a lot of things like we were calling Stone Age as Lithic Age, isn't it? Yes, but here we call Harappan civilization as Bronze Age. Bronze Age, because this was the time when first time humans knew about metallurgy. How bronze is being made? By mixing copper plus lead. So lead was available in India. For copper, we have Khetri mine in Rajasthan, but lead was not available in that quantity. We imported it from other countries too. Sometimes copper is being exported also. So this is how trade evolved between different civilizations. See, there were wells in the houses. There is a site in Rajasthan. I am telling you actually so much. I know that this is not needed for class 9, but I don't know why I am willing to tell all of these details to you. So in Rajasthan there was a site known as Kalibangan named after black bangles. So there was a site where the evidences of these wells, in-house built wells have been found. Like this, there were drains, crossaway pathways were there, multi-stories house were there, not one story, multi-story house were there. Then there was a great bath as Mesopotamia, how can it be Mesopotamia? So there was a great bath. Okay, yes, there was a great bath where people used to take bath at the religious events, some of the important events. There were granaries to store the grains. There were 6 granaries in number in Harappa, and the largest one was in Mesopotamia. Again, what Mesopotamia is coming? Wait, why it's happening here? Bhai, Mesopotamia like set in my mind. It's Mohenjo-daro. And you know that movie's name is also Mohenjo-daro. I got it now. So the movie's name is also Mohenjo-daro. And there is one book that is Meluha. Right? I won't say that it is exactly about Harappan civilization. The story is quite different, just to make your retention by the writer. But the place they referred in that place was built like this, like that. It is exactly the Harappan civilization one. Okay, so if someone read Meluha, tell me in the comment section, do you find it interesting or not? Okay, so this was basically the structure of cities. Mohenjo-daro. Get it? You know, Mohenjo-daro is the largest site of this Harappan civilization. Coming back, these are the only points you have to remember. All the details which I gave you was just for information. Now, as there was Harappan civilization on the river Indus. Indus basically consists of its tributaries also. Which tributaries? Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, Satluj. So there are 5 tributary plus 1 main river that is referred as Indus civilization. Similarly, around the world, there were many other civilizations like that. There were many civilizations like Mesopotamian, Egyptian, Harappan and Chinese. There were agriculture supported towns, administrations were there, and organized society was also there. One by one, we will learn about all of them after seeing this map. See, this is the world map, okay? This is the world map, where we will first figure about Egyptian civilization along the Nile River, the longest river of the world. Okay, along the river Nile. This is flourished in northeastern Africa. So this is flourished in Bacha, northeastern Africa, around the life-giving Nile River, which provided water, fertile soil and highway for trade. So the first one, here are the rivers. So the first one that you have to remember is River Nile. On River Nile, which civilization? Egyptian civilization. Remembered? Second, on river Indus, we have what beta? Indus Valley civilization, IVC or Harappan civilization. Then on river Tigris or Euphrates, there are 2 rivers basically. So it is Tigris or Euphrates river. So what do we call the civilization? Mesopotamian civilization. Yes, the same one which Indus Valley civilization did the trade. And then we have one more interesting one, that is Chinese civilization on the river Yangtze. Not Yangtze, it is sometimes referred as Yangtze, however it is Yangtze. Okay, you know that river is known as Yellow River. Yellow River, and here the civilization is known as Chinese civilization. So 4 civilization that you have to remember: Nile, Indus, Tigris and Huang He. Huang He, for obvious, where it will be in China. This is it. Okay, yes. Yangtze, see, along the Yangtze River, here it is written, Huang He and Yangtze River. Get it? So these are the 4 important civilizations of the world. Let's learn about them one by one. Okay, first one is Mesopotamian civilization. So it developed between Tigris and Euphrates rivers in the present day Iraq. Question that can come is, where is this Mesopotamia, or where is this Mesopotamian civilization in present day? So that region of Iran, Iraq is known as that, right? It is known as the land between the 2 rivers, these Tigris in the north, Euphrates in the south. City-states like Ur and Babylon developed strong trade and craft production. They used cuneiform writing and built ziggurats. Now, what is this cuneiform writing? Pay attention. Do you find the difference between the writing in Urdu as well as in Hindi? Yes. Do you find the difference between the writing of Kannada as well as Hindi? Yes. Sanskrit as well as Hindi? Yes. So now what do you talk about this? Just give me a second. Yeah, so by here cuneiform, what I mean is, see, it is they used cuneiform writing. If we take a block or a clay basically, or a clay or a tablet, something like that. So cuneiform is a type of writing which used pictures to show. It is not letters basically, it shows pictures. It cannot be called as a language. So basically it comes from the Latin word cunis, which means wedge, and form means shaped. So it was writings that was made using the shapes like boxes, triangles, circles or any other shapes to refer the different thing. Like if there is a scene of hunting, yes, I saw it. Basically, yes, I saw it, and then telling you. There are a lot of words which we sometimes also don't know. So like if there is a hunting scene to be represented on a tablet, they will do that. So that clay was soft first when they imprinted the shape, then they do it later. Okay, they imprinted the shape, and then when it becomes dry, we can use it later. So it is a script rather than a spoken language. Okay, so this is the important thing regarding Mesopotamian civilization. Then we have Egyptian one too, developed along the river Nile in northeastern Africa. Annual floods made the land fertile. It was ruled by kings called, oh my god, pharaohs. The kings that were referred as pharaohs, they built pyramids. So you guys are aware about that Egyptian pyramids, na? So they built pyramids, temples, monuments, and developed hieroglyphic writings. The same exactly, the picturesque writing. Okay, Egyptian civilization is done. Then we have Chinese one by Yellow River, also known as Huang He. The river provided fertile land but also called destructive floods. Agriculture was the main occupation. People grow crops there. Chinese developed silk production, pottery. By Chinese pottery is famous in the world till now. Even at my home there is a Chinese pot, and whenever we go close to that, our mother is be like she thinks that we are going to break it. I don't know why. And you know, I'm seeing it since like 20 years, more than 20 years. I remember that pot is in my house, and my mother did not want it to be thrown, and she just wanted to preserve. I don't know. That's Chinese pot, beautiful Chinese pot. Bronze tools, as I told you, in early writing. So beta, silk production is quite famous in China. Even this Chinese silk was demanded later in Europe. Right? So how was the transportation done? It was done through various links of roadways and riverways, which is referred as Silk Route, which is referred to the world as Silk Route. Okay, get it? So Yangtze, Huang He, and the civilization is Chinese civilization. By this was the complete story of how humans evolve. We have to figure out it in a more easiest way. See, as a humans, we were ape, right? Gradually, because what happened, who survives, who is the best? Survival of the fittest. Because of this survival of the fittest, we adopted the nature and gradually we changed. How do we change? By we change from Homo like Australopithecus. From Australopithecus, what happened? We started standing upright, right? Then we have what, beta? Homo erectus. Homo erectus, the human that learned how to make stones. Then Homo habilis. Okay, the Homo habilis, whose brain was developed. And then comes the Homo sapiens. Okay, Homo sapiens. So when these humans were evolving, the first thing that we saw was Stone Age. Which age, beta? Stone Age. Pay attention to that. I'm going to tell you the complete story that will help you even in your further chapters too. So the age of humans that started was Stone Age. By Stone Age was the age where humans knew only to use what? Stones. They made tools out of it. In this Stone Age, there were 3 ages. What were they? Paleolithic. Okay, Paleolithic. Then we have Mesolithic. Okay, Old Stone Age, Middle Stone Age, and then we have Neolithic. Bacha, pay attention to that. After this Stone Age, humans learned how to settle, right? And here comes one more age, that is Chalcolithic, right? Chalcolithic. After this Neolithic, up till here the chapter talks about. Beta, this Chalcolithic is the age where humans learned to use what? Copper as a first metal plus stones. Coppers plus stones. Okay, after this Chalcolithic age came the Bronze Age. Okay, Bronze Age, which we call as first civilization of India. Which we call as first civilization of India, where humans settled. Humans settled in Neolithic only, right? So they settled and formed a city, urban planned city, that is referred as first civilization or Harappan civilization. Okay, Harappan civilization. Now when, beta, this civilization will be made, okay, when this civilization will be made, don't you think that a proper planning is needed? Yes, where people will live all together, there will gradually becomes a society. Yes, so in this society, to communicate with each other, there will be a language by how to talk to each other. Okay, there will be a language and there will be a culture thereafter. And then they will develop a political system, that who wants to take care of all this system. If 2 people are fighting, who will actually tells the results? So there should be a law, there should be a governance, and this is how what becomes political thing comes. These people produce different products, and here will come the economy. Early humans and the civilization. This is the story. Get it? I hope you guys got the entire chapter nicely, because I put all my efforts to make this chapter easier. And here comes surplus food, division of labor, which build up social groups. A person who is an artisan, a person who makes iron related products, ironsmith. Lohar, a caste later, so later, don't connect it with this time. Right? A person who is dealing with gold, goldsmith. So what happening? Social division is being done because of this labor. And then labor, rules and laws will come, religion and rituals will come. So they grow with the growth of humans. Society was divided into groups based on occupation. Bhai, this is where the problem started. A person who will be studying and teaching other religious things will be a Brahmin occupation. A person who will fight will be a Kshatriya. So basically these caste groups or I'm wrong to use the word caste here, the social groups developed gradually only on the basis of occupation, such as there were certain farmers, traders, priests and craftsmen. Okay, to take care of them, gradually rulers came into picture who to maintain the urban place needed tax. Eventually, what happened, like in the starting, these taxes were voluntarily given to kings. Later it becomes compulsory. So they protected kingdoms and organized public works. Religion helped explain the natural forces and gave people shared beliefs. See, in our religion, everything is about to protect animals, to protect plants, somewhere. All the religious practices are linked to it. So this was the religion. Over a period of time, not in the starting, temples came into being, like religious priests are there. If I talk about Harappan civilization, no evidence of temple is there. No. Right? Rather, there are certain seals found which where we have seen a figure sitting in a yogic position who is compared to Lord Shiva. Later on, when Mauryan period was there, then later more various forms of god was made, and the rituals regarding the prayers were different. Initially, it was just yajna. Yajna, that means yagya, right? Fire. So this was how it grew gradually. Getting my point, bacha? So let's revise the complete chapter in quick minutes and then end with a question. So hunter-gatherers made tools plus fire, and here we got early farming community in Neolithic age. Then comes the settled villages, which later formed to urban civilization. Example for India's subcontinent is Indus Valley civilization. I am calling it as subcontinent. That should be in your mind. Okay, so beta, civilization developed gradually, not suddenly. The biggest turning point were fire, agriculture, surplus food, division of labor and settled life. Okay, the main point is all of them developed near river valleys because they wanted water for easy civilization. Fine. Quick question before exiting the class is that which single change most helped humans before civilization? Like, is it fire, farming, writing or trade? Give one reason. So according to you, which one of the following was the greatest discovery of the time, or you feel that after this the civilization came or everything got changed? This is the question for your side, and this was all about the chapter. If still you feel that, ma'am, we want more questions for this chapter, then come on my live sessions every Monday. I am going live for class 9th at 5 p.m. Okay, and if someone wants notes of this class, find it out in the description box. I'm going to add it. And beta, for class 9 preparation, don't worry about SST. We are together. We'll make it in the most easiest way possible. The main important thing is that. Okay, bye. See you soon in the next video. Do not forget to come back. Subscribe the channel right now.